Okay, this is a part 3 of Revelation 12 and 13. Part 1 has already happened. Go check it. Revelation 12. Part 2 already happened. Go check it. Revelation 13. This is kind of an overview and a recap of those two, and also just adding some insight. If, again, you want to know what I know, hang out. If not, pop off too. Comments like this can and will be used for educational purposes. Now, this is not to scare anyone, okay? It's not that it shouldn't be scary. It's just that it's going to feel a lot like COVID. COVID is a great example of the 5th plague poured out, okay? COVID was 555. 5th seal, 5th trump, 5th vial. COVID was 555. And what you saw in COVID was truth and lies mixed together. Was there actually a COVID? Absolutely. Anybody who got sick with COVID knows it was real. And was it a very dangerous kind of a flu on steroids? Absolutely. Did a lot of people die from it? Yes. Do not deny that reality, please. There are too many nurses and too many doctors who had bodies piling up, okay? So yes, COVID was a plague poured out. 5th vial, 5th seal, 5th trump. Now we are in a huge sealing time between 555 and 666, which Revelation 13 talks about. I know a lot of people want to read the 666 differently, and that is fine if you want to do it that way. I know a lot of people want to misunderstand the seals, trumps, and vials, and that is also fine if you want to do it that way. But the fact of the matter is that John goes ahead in time, looks at the seals, and is like, hey, no man can open this. And he's super upset, and then the Messiah comes and opens it. The seals have been opened, okay? The seals have been opened. Messiah came, opened the seals up. And the way the seals and the trumps and the vials work are benchmarks. They mark time. And it goes like this. A seal is something that gets opened and you have information, right? Think of a letter. Think of a wax seal. So you get awareness. A trump is a warning sounded, so you call alarm. A vial is a plague poured out. It's like a flat disc bowl full of plagues poured out. That gives you actionable things, okay? So it's really, I know people make this out to be this huge thing, but it is awareness, alarm, action, okay? That's what happens. God gives us awareness of what's going to come. He cries the alarm that it's coming, and the action happens. That's it. That's what the seals, the trumps, and the vials are. And they happen together. It's not, even though John lists it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or in some cases, 6, 7, or sometimes 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. He kind of lists it in weird orders and things. Ultimately, it's, hey, get aware of this. Hey, it's coming. Hey, it's here. Okay, it's very logical in its progression because God is a logical God. So, those who have eyes to see, let them see, and those who have ears to hear, let them hear. We are in between, right now, 555 and 666. What do we know about that in-between time? God tells the angels, the 4 angels from north, south, east, and west on the direction, hold, and let the people who are going to get sealed, get sealed. The 12 tribes that Revelation 12 and 13 tells us Satan's going to make war with, let them get sealed so they can prepare the war that is coming. Right? That's what Revelation 12 is telling us. It's like the end of Revelation 12, go back to part 1, tells us that the Antichrist knows he has a short time. Antichrist is just a incarnation of Satan. Knows he has a short time. He gonna come here. And he's trying to get the 12 tribes, the seed of Israel, to follow him. That's who he's making war with. He's not interested. I mean, he is. But it's very easy. He already knows he's got the rest of the world deceived. He knows that. He puts a system in place to deceive them. He comes down and does miracles to deceive them. It's not hard. The whole world is going to whore after this combo of political, economic, one world system and the guy who's going to run it all, who is supernatural. He's not worried about those people. He's worried about the people who are sealed in this time between 555 and 666. Okay? And yes, if you're asking well, isn't that kind of predetermined and you kind of already, yeah, it actually is kind of predetermined because The people who have been on fire for God for billions of years are still on fire for God. The people who wanted to fight with and for God in that first earth age, which Revelation tells us about, when Satan in Revelation 12 made war and took a third of the children of heaven, well, 2/3 did not go with him. Now, God has created billions of souls, hundreds of billions of souls, right? So hundreds of billions of souls that have been created for always. And again, I told you this is an advanced study, so if you can't wrap your head around it, that's okay. It takes a lot of depth and a lot of knowledge. And I understand that most people don't like to go this deep, and that's okay too, right? And so we have always existed. God created us billions of years ago. And he knows the ones that he needed to send to this time because they were good warriors for him in that time. He knows the ones, right? That's why he says, Jeremiah, before you were born, I foreordained you as a prophet. Why? You can guarantee Jeremiah was one of the ones that stood against Satan in that first age, which 2 Peter 3 talks to us about, right? My beloved, be not ignorant that we had a world before, we have a world now, and a world that is to come. Okay, he tells us about that. 1, 2, 3. Same earth, lots of different things going on. Okay. All that to say, we are in between 555 and 666. At 777, our Messiah comes, okay? I just did a part 1, 2, and 3 on Christ's return, which is very loud. It comes with a trump. So too, Antichrist's arrival on the scene will be loud. The whole world's going to see it, okay? Because he's claiming attention because he's acting like our Messiah. Who's going to fall for it? Everybody but the elect, guys. And even the elect, if the time was not shortened. It's not going to be 42 months. We're not going to have 3.5 years of a tribulation because Jesus told us the time had to be shortened because he is that good. People are not prepared. People weren't prepared in COVID. And that was like an actual truth and lie situation where people really were getting sick by a disease that was made in a lab. And then they did everything that they were told to do, right? Like they were like, I'm going to stay home. I'm going to, do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to get this vaccine. I'm going to do that, blah, blah, blah. And that was 555. Okay, that was 555. And so 666, Antichrist's coming, and the one world political economic system that is put in place by him, for him, to benefit him, will be very easy for him to see who's partaking in it and who isn't. So here is the thing. This is why we're told, if the one world system is coming, how do you escape that? Make an ark, aka don't enmesh yourself in the system. It's a very hard thing to do, okay? It is a very tricky thing because we're all already in the system, right? You're in the system. But the way you're supposed to not be in the system is self-sustaining situation, right? Have your own food. Have your own place. Have your own way to operate. Have your own water supply. Have your own electric supply, right? We are now enmeshed in a system that provides things for us. I'm going to pay you my money. You're going to provide me electricity. Well, guess what? If the money that they accept is a system put in place by the Antichrist that you cannot be a part of, if you don't have your own electric system source figured out, you're not going to have electric for 5 months. I mean, it's really very that simple. Like, I know that sounds scary, but like, that's the reality of it. It will touch your circumstances. It is a spiritual war that will touch your circumstances. There's no way it won't. Look at Noah. He was on the ark for a long time. It touched his circumstances. He had to prepare for it. Look at Lot. He lost his home. He needed to leave. He needed to pack. He needed to not look back. He had to prepare for it. We are told of this time so we can prepare for it. Does it mean that God won't take care of us? No. But it does mean that he's going to set us up with information if we would hear it so we can be more prepared so it is easier for him to take care of us, right? I am going to make a part 4 on this for practical ways to survive the tribulation, which I know sounds kind of apocalyptic and crazy, but here we are.